Luce Scherf, and excuse me if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Eric is a PhD student at the University of Alabama School of Social Work. Before this, he completed a Master's of Social Work degree at the University of Stavanger in Norway and a Bachelor of International Relations degree in his home country of Brazil. Eric is interested in examining health disparities driven by restrictive immigration policies with a focus on racialized and minoritized migrants in the U.S. He advocates for epistemological pluralism, cultural sensitivity, and anti oppression in social work teaching, research, and practice. The floor is yours, Eric.
Thank you so much, Diana. Can you hear me well, everyone? Great. You pronounced my name perfectly. Thank
Good,
you.
good.
So I'll just put a timer here so we stay under 10 minutes. Thank you very much for the introduction and for having me. It's been lovely hearing from colleagues in the social change arena and the impactful work that they are doing. So it is truly a privilege to share this space with you. What I want to discuss today is how to lead a career as a researcher in the field of macro social work or in the field of social change, more generally speaking. It doesn't necessarily have to be in academia, but because I'm more used to the academic environment, I've been in school my whole life basically, then of course I'm gonna talk more a little bit about academic research, but in the reality is that there are many possibilities with how you can pursue social change and social justice agendas through research in various spaces, academic or not. So we can go to the next slide, please. First of all, happy Social Work Month to everyone. You should celebrate. We work very hard. So give yourself some time to think about all the good that you are doing and celebrate that. All right, we can go to the next one. Who am I? Just quickly, because you want to know who is speaking with you today. I'm originally from Brazil. I'm a first generation college student. Neither of my parents have gone beyond the fourth grade. I grew up in a very marginalized community in South Brazil that was marked by poverty, inequality, and being a queer person as well. I have lived experiences of oppression, and I sort of use that as a fuel to guide my own work, and I think that's kind of led me to social work as well. I'm also new to the social work profession. I'm not new to research, but I'm definitely new to social work. And why have I chosen to do this? Well, I did my master's in Europe, so nice to see colleagues from Europe here. And I did an Erasmus Mundus program that took place in three countries. So I studied in Portugal, Norway, and Sweden before coming to the US as a PhD student. And there, differently from the tradition, the social work tradition in the US, it was not focused on clinical work, but it was more, it leaned more towards macro social work, right? And policy advocacy and more on meso macro systems. So I chose macro social work or social change work as a way to make a lasting impact on societal systems and structures. And the way that I try to do that is through research, teaching, and advocacy. All right, let's go to the next one so we don't waste too much time. And what do I do? So, if you're interested in a career in research, you probably need to get a PhD. Not necessarily. There are people, I know people that are in the social work field doing research for nonprofits and even in academia as well that have a graduate degree that is not necessarily a PhD. They might have a practicing degree like a DSW, or they done their MSW, but they still work with research, which is perfectly fine. But I'm a full-time PhD student, and my time is divided between classes, research, teaching and mentoring future social workers, guest lectures, and other stuff. As Diana already mentioned, my areas of expertise slash interests are immigration, social work with migrants and refugees, focusing on health disparities, public health and public policy, and also the role of human rights practice with those populations. And the way that I get to do that these days has been mostly in the initiative on social work and forced migration. That's where my focus is with that kind of work. And the initiative is run by the Washington University in St. Louis. And you can check the website to learn more about the projects that we are doing. Okay, we can go to the next one, please. So, with research, I know that if you heard a little bit about it, if you know a little bit about the academic job environment, you might be a little bit skeptical about pursuing a career in that area. So, is research still a viable career? And I would say yes, it still is a place of possibilities for social change work, for macro social work research. And yeah, it's still a viable career path that offers different opportunities, both in academia but also outside of it. And research careers can be fulfilling and impactful, especially if you have a passion for it. I think that it's very important that you have a passion for research, otherwise, you'll not be able to see this through. You have to be very passionate about the work that you're doing. And it still is a rewarding career for individuals who are passionate about knowledge. So if you're passionate about learning, if you're passionate about critical inquiry and making a difference through your work, but there are, of course, there are challenges that still surround this area, especially job insecurity. If you are on a non-tenured faculty position, for example, if you're working as an adjunct, that might not cover all your financial needs, for example, and you're gonna be wondering, if I'm gonna be able to make ends meet and all of that. So I know that there are a lot of people who struggle, who are not on a tenure track, for example, or are not in a permanent position, that struggle with having stability in this field. So I'm not gonna say this is wonderful, academia is perfect, because it's not. But of course, it's still I still believe there are possibilities, and as especially as minoritized and racialized individuals, I think that we need to occupy these spaces, because traditionally academia has been occupied by mostly white straight males, even in the field of social work. So I feel like our voices are needed, and I feel like we have something important. And just by occupying these spaces, we are already participating in that change that we want to see. And but one of the things that I do like about it is the level of flexibility that you can have. And of course, I think that interacting with students and training students who are going into the field is also another thing that is very rewarding. And it's also part of what you're going to do if you join, for example, in university. Not so much if you're going to work for an research institution that is not in higher education. All right, let's go to the next one, please. So what are the facets of a research career? As a macro social work researcher, you will focus on systemic issues and large-scale interventions aimed at addressing different issues, including social injustice, policy and advocacy, community development. You'll likely going to collaborate with people in different fields, people working directly with the community, so social workers that are in the field, and also community workers, and not necessarily social workers, but community liaisons. So that is something that as a macro social worker you're going to try to do, which is connect with the communities, go to the communities you are doing research with and about. Other things involved are grant writing, teaching and mentorship, as I mentioned, publication and dissemination of your findings, especially I think that to the community stakeholders and also to policymakers. I think it's very a foundational aspect of a macro social work research career is communicating your research findings to the right people to achieve the goals that you want in terms of social change. And of course, advocacy and social justice, which is the cornerstone of our profession. All right, let's go to the next one, please. Okay, this is a map that shows sort of a roadmap for an academic position. This will probably work better for English-speaking countries, North America, but also UK, Australia, New Zealand, but not so much for Europe. And anyone, I'm not gonna read this; it's too much, and we have little time. But if you want, I can share the presentation with you. Just shoot me an email and I can share it with you. All right, so let's go to the next one. And I just want to say that not only academia is a possibility for exploring this path of doing research for a living, but also places such as government agencies, nonprofit organizations, consulting firms, international organizations, and even private companies. So working with research outside of academia will allow you to apply your expertise in diverse settings and contribute to your social change efforts. Okay, my time is over, but I'm gonna finish really quick. Let's wrap it up. There's a quote that from my favorite macro social worker that I follow on LinkedIn. Her name is Martha Pitts, and it says there are social workers who alongside that are working alongside you every single day who have no clue what social justice is, nor do they know or even care to understand why the problem you address every day through case management services exists. But you do, and that's what makes you a good macro social worker. So hopefully, if you're interested in research, if you have a passion for it, or if you're interested in engaging more with that, then you will bring those skills into applying that research and your findings into bringing about social change. So thank you very much. In the next slide, I have my contact information, my email. So if you're interested in connecting, and I can share this presentation with you, and I'm always available to talking with students and anyone who's interested in my work or learning more about this career path. So thank you very much.